The RAD podcast is intended for a mature audience. Listener discretion is advised.
Hi and welcome to this week's edition of the RAD podcast, Random Ass Discussion, the podcast where anything's a topic and nothing is taboo. Now, I am your host Paul the Hat Guy Flinders, and as for guests this week, we've gone for quality rather than quantity this week, because we only have the lost one himself, Adam Cox.
Hello.
How are you doing? How's your, it's a very brief hiatus that we had for a week because, I was tired. The stamina of doing podcasting, it's draining.
It's Easter as well, to be fair though, mate. We're entitled to time off.
Yeah, it has been Easter, but to be honest with you, you can ask me what I've done. You know.
What have you done for Easter?
I have gone to one of my partner's sister's house and had a failed Easter egg hunt. Had a lamb dinner, came home. That was about it.
I actually thought you were just literally to say, my Easter consisted of sweet fuck all.
Well, other than that, it may as well have done, yeah. Easter Monday, obviously, I'm working, so, it's one of them. So, most of them, I can't complain because I've had Good Friday and Easter Sunday off, so it's not been too bad. It really didn't consist of much. It's been more like a motorsport weekend, but seeing as you find motorsport about as interesting as slamming your head repeatedly off a tarmac, I won't bore you with the details, but
I did used to watch I caught the odd bit of F1 here and there as a kid, but I've never fully into it. You see,
I'm the sad one of the group where you got Alan, for example. He passively kind of likes his F1, and then you got Xander and me, sort of like joint. We'll watch anything with four wheels that goes fast around a racetrack. So, for example, as well, me, Formula One wise, I think I can count on both hands how many Grand Prix I've missed since 1992. So I've religiously not missed one. If I can't watch one, I've recorded it. Even the old school, the dark days of VHS. I even count recording one, then realise they've not put the tape into long play. Recorded it, and then you remember that you think you put it on long play, it's actually recorded on short play, and you only caught half of your thing. It was watching like, oh, for fuck's sake. And it's like, especially if it's a film, because you've got to wait fucking God knows how long it is before it comes back on terrestrial TV.
Yeah.
Back in the old days, but now you can just rewind and record it. You got no problems because there's no short play, long play. It's just a hard drive. So I quite just like
on demand or whatever,
Or on demand, yeah. iPlayer is good, by the way, because they put whole seasons on at once. So it's a bit like it's like diet Netflix. It's great.
I think they've done that to following the Netflix footsteps, if anything. Because you look at some of the stuff, like even though they are doing some stuff like iZombie and Better Call Saul both weekly. There's like Orange Is the New Black comes out. Here's the full season in one go.
It's pointless. I don't see the point in that. At the same time, though, there's some people like Xander who has not watched any Walking Dead this season, waited for it to finish and just sat there and binge watch the fucking lot. Because now he's watched it all, we can now start talking Walking Dead, but he's not fucking on the show. Bastard. But, it's the BBC iPlayer have started doing it as well. I mean, the most recent one I think they've done two, haven't they? They've done that. It was in Line of Duty. They've done it for, and they've done it for Carpool. The Peter Kay thing.
Peter Kay's car share.
Car Share, sorry, not Carpool,
Yeah.
Car Share. Have you actually watched any of that?
I watched the first season. I've not watched the second one yet.
See, I watched the first episode. I'm doing it the old school way, watching it one a week rather than going on the iPlayer and downloading every single one. Gives me something to do on a fucking Monday night, whatever night it's on. Because we all know telly after 9 o'clock nowadays seems to be rather shit unless it's on a Monday.
Oh, it's god awful.
Yeah, it's just real. I mean, what's worse, normally Thursday nights are fucking terrible normally. Don't know why it always seems to be traditionally Thursday night just seems to be the night for shit telly. When 9 o'clock comes along and you realise that your best option is on Channel 5 and it's called Can't Pay and Take It Away, you know it's something wrong.
It's even sort of bloody, I think probably about 8 o'clock onwards, really. Unless you like sort of like reruns of a Big Bang Theory, there's nothing much else.
Oh, for fuck's sake. I've never been able to get into that. I don't know why. I'm not a massive American sitcom fan. Never have been. I mean, because look, have you seen Friends? And have you seen, Big Bang Theory, for example? Like Darren bangs on about Community and things like that, and I'm like, no, because I just don't see the appeal of it. It's just not my humour. It never has been. I mean, I'm more of, like I say, I'll watch British sitcoms and things like that. Bottom, for example, is one of my fucking favourites. Things like that. The Young Ones, another one. And then we're going back to the fucking early 80s there, but the Young Ones. Yeah, it's fucking phenomenal. Absolutely loved it. But
to me though, I've sort of found for me like Big Bang Theory is essentially like the replacement of Friends. You got like a group of people that live in set like opposite flats and they just do nerd jokes. Yeah,
it's pretty much the same show, isn't it? Just with a new lick of paint.
Yeah.
And yeah, if there's that gap in the market, and there always is, people will want that sort of setup as a sitcom. Same thing with like, what's it, King of the Bronx or whatever the fuck it's called. King of Brooklyn. I can't remember what the fuck it's called. Obviously, I don't obviously watch it. I know it's on Channel 4 first thing in the morning. That's all about, and that's all I do now.
King of Queens.
King of Queens, sorry, yeah, not King of Bronx.
Me and James love that.
Yeah.
We love that show. It's brilliant.
See, I can't get into it, shit like that. I can't get into that. I mean, I don't know. I've tried my fucking hardest to get into some sort of American sitcom because, God forbid, half the fucking TV in the UK is American sitcoms. So rather than sit there and be twiddling my fingers and,
What about 90s stuff like Frasier and Everybody Loves Raymond?
No, even that. Even that, no. I mean, I have tried. Like, Everyone Loves Raymond, I did try. I really tried Everyone Loves Raymond. And I just can't get into it. There's one exception to the rule when it comes to that sort of thing. That's Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. It's illegal to not like that programme. It is actually, I think it should be punishable by some sort of corporal punishment.
Yeah, Fresh Prince, when I got the full box set that sat down here next to me.
Yeah, there you go. That shows you the validity of my answer. If he's got the box set, it's a quality programme. Or some from Poundland, one or the other.
Oh, it's not a Poundland fan, unfortunately.
Speaking of Poundland fans, you pissed on my bonfire this week.
Would this be the mugs?
Yes, this would be the mug that I managed to partake in. It was at the Price Busters Poundland, if people from Blackpool will know what I mean by that.
Yeah.
I was just browsing round, as you do. And I remember Coxy saying, look at the mugs in Poundland. I never actually walked down that aisle to find the mugs and things like that. So I thought I'd go walk down there, and I saw it was the only one of them. It was literally the only one. And I thought, do you know what? This is fucking amazing. I'm a Pulp Fiction fan, a huge Pulp Fiction fan, and there was this mug. It's obviously, I'll explain it to the listeners. It was a mug, and it has Zed's dead, baby. Zed's dead on both sides of the mug, and in the middle of it is Bruce Willis on on the motorbike. It's fucking amazing, the design on this mug. I'm sure Coxie will concur.
Yes. Because
the bastard's already got it. Now,
I told you this when I got it.
You did, and I completely forgot. So, but I was absolutely amazed with this mug. It's like, yes, this is the greatest Poundland find ever. And like Cox's like, well, yeah, I've got one. I'm like, what? That's like, oh yeah. Like, I've just found this mug. Like, yeah, I've already got it. I'm like, you bastard. But I was pleased with it. I know it's already seen much use, so you know it's been used for its purpose. So you know I've got my money's worth. But while I was there, I am actually considering going back to this said Poundland at some point in the very near future, because also in there they had like these custom artwork ones, which obviously weren't official Tarantino sort of things.
Is that the one they called like Epic Art or something like that?
I think so.
An artist, or I can't remember the name of the guy, but he's like it's almost like an oil painting of like a poster or something.
Yeah, something like that.
There's like I think I've seen Rocky ones. I think might have been a Kill Bill one. I can't remember.
Yes, that's the one I was.
A Rocky one. That's
the one I was just about to mention. It's got the can't remember the name. This is I'm bad because I'm a massive Tarantino fan. I can't remember the character, but she's got the eye patch on in Kill Bill.
Oh,
is it Copperhead? No, Copperhead's the first kill, isn't it? In the first film.
Yeah.
Shit.
Now.
Yeah, it's gonna fucking annoy us. But yeah, it's
Daryl Thingy, isn't it? Who plays her?
Yes. Yeah. Can't remember the character's name, but she's on the main focus of this, and obviously a few of the other characters are on there. I think Bill's on there, and what have you. In that on the cup, I'll have to try and find it. But there was a few other nice cups on there, like a proper official Adventure Time ones in there as well. So they were quite nice. But I did also notice while I was in there, I was just going down the camping aisle, and there was also Shiwis in there for £1. So you know, you can drink from you can piss with ladies. Just you know. Just a bit of advice, if you go camping, you go to Poundland, get yourself a Tarantino mug, and you can piss in it with your Shiwi stood up. If you ever caught short, obviously.
Daryl Hannah, that was the one.
Yes.
And her character was Ellie Driver.
Yeah, Ellie Driver, yes. Yes, Ellie Driver, yeah, the lady with the eye patch that ends up losing her other eye. You don't actually get a confirmed kill, you just assume. If you remember, she's just rolling around in the caravan.
It leaves it open for Kill Bill 3.
Yes, it does.
Oh,
yes, I'm looking forward to that when eventually it does come out, because it's the most it's the most well-known secret in Hollywood, isn't it? It's going to be made. You know, little known. Well, I don't know if it's little known, but have you ever noticed, Adam, that every single kill in Kill Bill 1 and 2 is made by a woman?
No, I didn't notice that one.
Apart from the scene where the bride gets shot. Because obviously Bill and the other fella is already obviously wielding guns, but other than that, every other kill's been made by a woman. So yeah, just a little bit of info there that you possibly didn't know. Moving on to that, we may as well move on with the movies. It's one of my smashing case of emergency topics that I have got. It is, but I've been meaning to, actually, it's kind of good because you're known as the movie buff in our group chat. A little bit of behind the scenes shit here.
Yeah, pulling the curtain back there, right?
Yeah, you're known as the movie buff. It comes back, I'm just thinking, what are your favourite? If you had to go away, you were exiled to, I don't know, somewhere very heinous, very disgusting, and, somewhere, not very nice. Not the ex-girlfriend's living room, no. Maybe Cleveland's. Yeah, Cleveland's will do. If you're ever exiled to Cleveland's, what 5 movies would you take with you and why?
Yeah, I thought you were at least going to say somewhere sort of, it's like the whole desert island thing.
Yeah. Yeah, but Cleveland's just seems to be devoid of anything that I'd want, so, I don't like Cleveland's. Cleveland's is a place that masquerades as somewhere posh, but it's a run-down scumhole. It's like the set of Coronation Street. You look on the front of the houses, and it's actually quite nice when you realise it's just a wooden cutout. It's a piece of shit, that place. I'm very glad if I never saw the place again. But hey ho, it's our next door neighbours, isn't it? So.
Oh, dear.
But hey ho. I'd actually prefer Fleetwood to Cleveland's, and that says it all. So I'd rather take the stench of fucking rotting fish. But yes, favourite films.
Favourite films. So
Five off, yes. By the way, that's an interesting number. I picked that number on purpose because it means if you were a Lord of the Rings fan, you couldn't take all 6 films from The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings trilogies. Or Star Wars, for that matter.
Yeah. You're a bastard for that, but I'm not one of them where I could just literally say all 6 Star Wars films, because even then there's 7 of them.
Well, yeah, this is true.
I'd have to go with at least Clerks or Clerks 2. So one of those, at least.
I'll concur with you on that one, because I'll mention mine as we go along if I agree. Now, I have to go with Clerks 1 with you on that one. I just prefer the setting. I can relate to the setting more.
I relate to the setting myself, because I worked in retail.
Yeah.
In only for a short period of time, and I think I watched that film about 3 years after, 2 or 3 years after, and it was sort of just sat there just nodding along, going, "That happened to me, and that happened, and that happened."
Yeah.
But then sort of bits in the film as well also carried over to when I worked in the cinemas and stuff like that as well.
This is it, because
there were people coming in going, "Have you got ice for my coffee? Why? So I can cool it down." Like, what?
It's fucking coffee.
My coffee's hot, but I want to drink it now, so you got any ice?
Oh, God. But like I say, I love little bits in it. Have you got any? I want to see a good film. Navy SEALs. I just love that film. I used to work in a corner shop very similar to that in Clerks. Very elongated. All the fridges were on one side and everything. It was exactly the same layout.
Yeah.
You had the one set of shelves in the middle.
Yeah.
It was. You could envision the actual Clerks film in my shop. We actually used to have people coming in, like regular characters coming in, just standing around and talking, like they did in the Clerks film. It was fucking brilliant. It got to the point that we realised it was so similar. We actually put the sign, "We assure you we're open," on the front door. We actually put it on the door. So, yeah, it was exactly like that was job-wise, I'd say that's probably my favourite job I've ever had, is working in that convenience store. It was just a fucking laugh every day. Dealing with, obviously, the regular local characters every day. You know, obviously we had our friend Kenny that we both know. There's other people that used to live in the foyer up the road. You had the local scumbags who was friendly. You know what I mean by friendly scumbags?
Yeah.
The friendly scumbags that used to come in to get the tenant super and fuck off and give you no bother. But then you also had the horrible scumbags that try and nick the same beer. So, yes, pretty much. The only thing we even got milkmaids.
Yeah, we had milkmaids and milkmen as well.
Yes.
It actually happened once. My boss said to me at the time, like, "You go and put the milk out." And as I'm pushing the milk trolley around the corner to go and put it out, there's a guy there on his knees on the floor.
Checking the dates.
Well, not even that. He's pulling out all the milks off every shelf and looking at the dates and going, "Oh, there's fresher ones at the back. I'm going for them." So I just stood there watching him. My boss came around the corner. He's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, just watching." He's like, "Why?" I was like, "Well, he's in the way and I can't do my job until he goes off, and I'm going to have to sort his shit out after he's done that." So,
you see, I was lucky. The milkman actually came in the shop and sorted our milk for us. So he came and did all that as well, but he still had people there hovering over him, waiting for him to finish so they could grab the fresh milk that he's just put at the back of the fridge. You know, the only thing we didn't have was the people smashing eggs. It's literally the only thing.
Doing that on purpose.
No.
People did do it, and so.
Yeah, we never actually had that. We didn't. Like I say, we didn't even have the guy. We didn't have the salesman coming in either, trying to stop people from buying cigarettes to buy gum instead. We didn't have that, but yeah, the shop was very similar to the Clerks film, which is why I really, really, really enjoy it, and I can relate to it. Something chronic, like being able to lock up the shop and walk away for a few minutes to go and do something else.
Yeah.
I actually could do that, so It was brilliant. I absolutely loved it. That's one of the reasons why I love that film, because like I say, I can relate to it 100%. And I just find the humour in it is on my level. And anything that Jay and Silent Bob touches, for me, is absolute gold. Anything that Jay and Silent Bob's in, is just, even the shittier films, are gold. So, I'll agree with you on that.
But...
I've not even. Do you know what? It's the only one of the Kevin Smith things I don't think I've got with Jay and Silent Bob in.
Yeah.
It's the only one I've not got, so I'm hunting that down. Sorry, mate? Well, that was a bit of a break-up then.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know, I'm getting a bit started, but we'll carry on.
Oh, yeah, are we back?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you again. Yeah, bit of you fucked up moment, so, well.
Probably shit internet, but there we go.
Yeah, more likely shit internet and probably shit Wi-Fi and shit everything. Shit technology, shit laptops, shit everything. So what would you say was your next one?
One of my all-time favourites, it's got to be, and it would be The Toxic Avenger.
Oh. Now, why would you pick that?
What do you mean, why? It's brilliant.
See, it's one of the films I've not seen, and I think it's criminal.
It is criminal. It's, if you like, sort of, if you're a fan of anything sort of humour but gore as well, because it's...
Yeah.
But like, I showed it to my brother for the first time, I think, last year, and because he was always like, "What's this? Why do you always watch like going about Toxic Avenger?" I was like, "You just need to watch it." So I made him watch the fully uncut version, and it's one of them. He said like it's one of them. It's so bad it's good, because like the acting, some of the acting is terrible in it, but that's what makes the film what it is.
Oh yeah.
But even then, it's like for the story, it's actually like pretty well done. It's just been one. I had the toys as a kid, and I watched Toxic Crusaders cartoon as a kid, and I had like all that sort of thing. So,
see, I even remember the Toxic Crusader.
Yeah,
it was a good little. Was it on CI? Was it on CBBC early mornings?
It was on, I think, Channel 4 or something. I think.
Remember it on something?
Yeah,
was he on with like a mop?
I can't. Yeah. It was like him and a group of another like group of guys. Like the film is the Toxic Avenger, but the cartoon they sort of dumbed it down and sort of kidified it, so it became the Toxic Crusaders.
Oh yeah.
Him and a group of other like mutated heroes and stuff. I think it only ran for like 13 episodes, but they're all on YouTube to watch.
I'll have to give it a whirl again. We can see it on Channel 4 type programming. The ones the cartoons I tend to remember the most are like Street Sharks and Biker Mice from Mars.
Yeah,
they're the ones I remember.
It was. I think it was shown sort of that early to mid 90s ish, sort of like around 91 to 95, roughly. I remember it used to be on, I think, on a Saturday or Sunday morning about 8 o'clock.
Oh yeah.
And you had sort of that, and you had like I remember like the Captain Planets and X-Men, and they had like Batman.
Oh, the original Batman, yeah.
Yeah, Batman the animated series, which is brilliant.
Rocko's Modern Life was on Channel 4 as well.
I love Rocko's Modern Life.
Yeah, that was on Channel 4. I remember that. It all rings a bell, because I remember getting up like on Saturday mornings, getting up at like 7 o'clock in the morning, because I was sad and still into my motorsport even then. You used to have like the British GT or the F3 on early morning, like highlights packages.
Yeah. So
I used to watch that, and then I'd go straight into like the kids' cartoons at like 8 o'clock in the morning, where you'd have like Sharky and George and things like that.
I never watched much of what's it called? I never watched much of Biker Mice from Mars or Street Sharks, but I had quite a few Biker Mice from Mars toys.
See, Biker Mice from Mars was ace. My favourite was Vinny. I just wanted his bike. I remember the red bike. I was just like, I want that bike. Don't know why. I just remember Vinny's bike.
Another one I remember was what's it called? Gargoyles.
That was fucking amazing. Wasn't that on ITV though?
I think it was, but wasn't it? I think it was possibly, was it Disney?
Yeah, it was Disney because they had the Disney Club on ITV, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yes, I think it was something to do with that because I remember things like Darkwing Duck and things like that on ITV. And then obviously you had the Warner Brothers one as well that was also on ITV, and that was What's Up Doc. It had Pat Sharp on it.
Can't remember that one.
Yeah, that was good. I remember What's Up Doc. You see, it was how this country was introduced to the Animaniacs. So it was Pinky in the Brain and all that. So
I love Pinky in the Brain.
You can't not Pinky in the Brain. Fucking love Pinky in the Brain. Or I always maintain to this day that I'm Pinky. That's my existence. I'm Pinky. That absolutely. Certainly not the fucking brain. Let's just put it that way. Fuck's sake. But yeah, I'll go and say second movie on my list has got to be. It's going to have to be Die Hard. It's got to be Die Hard because it's an all-purpose movie. You can watch it in the middle of the year, and it's just a brilliant action film. But you can watch it in December, and it's a Christmas film. And we're not going to have this argument again, because I remember we had this argument on the podcast. Is Die Hard a Christmas film? And we all came to...
I agreed with you, though.
You did.
It's set in December, but it's like everyone says about, like, Frozen's a Christmas film, but it's set in July or something.
Frozen's not a fucking movie. It's a music video, extended music video to Let It Go. That's what that is. It's not a fucking film at all. In fact, it's getting a second one. It should be called Let It Go 2 Electric Boogaloo. There might be a remix. I can imagine it being the dance version of Let It Go.
It'll be like the hardcore trance mix or something.
Now that's what I call Let It Go number 33.
Let it go, 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 go. Bass drop.
Goes all Skrillex on your ass.
Yeah. I'll just get my power drill out now.
What is that, to numb the pain?
That's all dubstep, isn't it? Essentially, it's just a power drill.
It is pretty much you power drill on a Casio keyboard. It's pretty much what it is. That's all it is. That's Skrillex in a nutshell. I'd love to know who spends £100 on a ticket to go and see that shite live. When all you got to do is, put a tape in backwards to get the same effect. Seriously, for fuck's sake. Oh, what's your third film?
Oh dear. My third film, I'd have to go with Tucker and Dale vs. Evil.
I have not seen this film. Now, I've seen it all over the channel. I know it's been on terrestrial TV as well, so I have no excuse. But it's one of them films that I need to see.
You do.
As I know you
like Alan. If you like Alan, is it Tudyk?
Oh.
I can't remember how to say his name, and I can't remember Tyler Bean, is it?
Not a fucking clue, mate.
I can't remember. I think I've read about an Empire, and it was sort of like given the premise of like you have two hillbillies and some college kids, but then it's flipped around.
Oh yeah.
Sort of like they're sort of portrayed as sort of redneck hillbillies, and like they're really not.
Yeah.
They're just like trying to build a cabin, like a summer cabin in the woods, but then sort of hilarity ensues. I remember, I think the trailer came out for it. I just remember watching the trailer, and I was like, right, Tucker and Dale trailer, let's watch this. And I was like, this is fucking gold. I was like, I need to see this film. And I went on play.com, I think it was the HMV, I was like looking, oh shit, it's out next week. Buying that.
I'm going to have to get this all this some way and watch it. Is it on Netflix at all by any chance?
I think it was a while back. It might still be now.
Oh, if it is, I'm going to have to get it watched.
I'll have a look now and just see.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm going to have to get that watched.
Yeah, it's sort of, it's one of them. Some people say to me like, "Oh, I'm not big on gore," and it's like, there's not really much gore in it. It's just a case of it's like I think it's hilarious.
Mm. Gore in the right context is funny.
It's
like that scene at a basketball where he's doing the side count and he rips his middle finger off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that film. But actually, I'm going to make that my number 3, Basketball. It's just fucking hilarity. Absolute hilarity.
Basketball, for me, is one that's always sort of been touch and go.
Mm.
I've always sort of... It is a good film, but for me, I think it's too long.
It does go on a little bit, I'll be honest with you. It does go on a little bit, but on the way there, it's fucking hilarious. Absolutely hilarious.
It is a funny film, but it follows in the footsteps of like some of the other sports films that seem to go on too long. I think there's like going back to sort of like the 70s or 80s, like the film Slapshot with Paul Newman. I think it's like over 2 hours.
Yeah.
And not much happens. White Man Can't Jump. Nothing happens. We found out he can jump. Roll credits.
Yeah.
Goon, I think with Sean William Scott again. It's like another film that goes on. It's like a sport comedy that goes on a bit too long. So yeah, it is funny. It does have its moments in places, and like the bit in the hospital.
That's fucking funny. That is funny. Tell you, Gary ain't got the power. Yeah, I love it. Absolutely. And anything the little bitch Squeak Scolari ever did.
Yeah.
That's me in a sports setting. It really is.
And you're in luck because Tucker and Dale is on Netflix.
Fantastic. Guess what I'm watching at some point? Very much so. On that note, what's your 4th film that you'd have to take with you to Cleveland's?
Let's have a look.
I fucking hate Cleveland's. It's pointless. Why can't Blackpool end and Fleetwood begin? No, you've got to have this shitty bit, faux posh bit in the middle.
I'd probably have to go with John Carpenter's The Thing.
See, that's a great film.
It is, and I think I watched it. Must have been over 10 years ago.
It still resonates.
I think I fell asleep, but then I watched it again recently, and it sort of reminded me how much I loved The Thing, just like the way it's done and stuff, the way it's set out, and
it's got fucking Kurt Russell in it. Enough said.
As well. It was, to be fair, it was a tough choice for this one because I'm looking from my film list on Facebook, and I've got The Thing, and I've got like 2 films away from it. I've got Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh, mate, that's a dilemma. That's a dilemma.
Yeah.
Fuck, that is a dilemma. And when you talk about Kurt Russell films, that's a fucking dilemma as well, because not only have you got that, you've got Escape from New York and Escape from LA, and then you've also got fucking Death Proof, and all this other films like that. Oh, God, what? Yeah, Kurt Russell's amazing. Yeah, she's pure and simple. Speaking of amazing actors, I'm gonna now. Then, what order do I do this in? Yeah, we'll do it this one. 4th one for me, Fifth Element.
See, I've not seen Fifth Element for a long. If I've watched it, it's not been a long time, but I can't remember watching it.
It's fucking great, absolutely great. I like Bruce Willis as an actor. Anyway, him in the lead in this is fucking perfect. The fact that it's an action film with things dying left, right, and centre, and it's still a fucking PG. Fuck knows how when it's got tits in it.
This comes out of that argument though of like the BBFC. But
yeah,
we'll get onto that in a bit because I want to sort of talk about something related to that in a bit.
Okie dokie.
But yeah, it's sort of, I think it just comes down to that 90s mentality because I'm sure like like I think quite a few episodes back, we were talking about Wayne's World.
Yeah.
And I remember watching it on Paramount one time when Comedy Central was still Paramount. I'm sure there's a bit where, I think the first Wayne's World, Wayne says fuck. And I was like looking at it, and I picked up my HMV the following day. I was like, I'm sure this is a PG.
Mm.
I was like, he dropped an F-bomb in it. I was like, how's that happen? And it's like, again, like Fifth Element's a PG.
It's like, what? Well, yeah, this is it. You got people getting shot left, right, say aliens getting shot in their head. Fucking Bruce Willis shoves his hands into a fucking alien's stomach to pull some stones out. You know what I mean? He's like, yeah, that's PG. Yeah, only reason being because the blood's not red. I'd imagine.
It can also be like if there's no blood at all, like the Ghost in the Shell release and like the Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Like when he does the pencil trick.
Oh yeah, he just goes, bump, that's it, no blood. Well, there's that as well. But you also got to remember as well, obviously you got the old ratings. In fact, I don't know if I should save this for later. But there was, like I say, the Rocky films, for example, are all PG.
Yeah.
There's no way nowadays they would pass as PG. Not a fucking sniff.
Well, it's I think Creed was a 12A and Rocky Balboa the
that was a 12.
12. Yeah, well, it's 12A I think when it came out because I was working at the time. So yeah, that was a 12A.
It's one of them, isn't it? It's about how times change with the ratings, isn't it? You know.
Well, if you look at like the original Indiana Jones and stuff, like when there's like people getting shot and there's people like melting and stuff, and they're only PGs.
This is it. You know, it's like I say, people's mentality. It just shows you that everyone's slightly probably overprotective nowadays. Either that or people have wisened up. One or the other.
Apparently the laws have gone a bit more laxed on what you can and can't do in films nowadays, but it's still. I find it questionable sometimes of what they let get away with in a 15.
Yeah.
Compared to what happens in a 12A and so on and so on.
It's a big jump, isn't it? It's a massive jump.
Sometimes, like I've watched a 15 and I go, this should really be an 18. It's like,
this is it. I mean, what constitutes an 18 from being a 15? You know what I mean? It's not much difference, but there's a massive difference from a 15 to a 12A.
Yeah.
You know, so I could get that. Going back to, because obviously Fifth Element being a PG, what shocks me about that being a PG, obviously you've all got all the alien death, basically, and human death that's in it. A fucking cruise ship gets blown up in a terrorist attack. You know, there's a space cruiser that gets destroyed in a terrorist attack. And not only that, there's depictions of sex all over the place at one point. You know, any worse, it would be the final scene from Sausage Party. You know, it's... Yeah, that's still a PG. And obviously, then you've obviously got the couple of moments where Milla Jovovich has got her tits out. You know the Milla Jovovich calling card.
Yeah.
She's got to have some sort of nudity in it somehow. But... Yeah, it's for me, obviously, that's obviously the only slightly... I wouldn't even call it negative. But the film's just fun. Utter fun, all the way through. Absolute utter fun. And in fact, so it's got Ian Holm in it as well. It's got, like I said, Bruce Willis, Milla Jovovich. Lee Evans has got a cameo in it. Gary Oldman, Chris Tucker. You know, it's fucking brilliant. You need to give it a watch. If you like your sci-fi and your comedy and your action all roll into one, then I think you'll enjoy it.
I'll have to say, I'm sure I've seen it in Poundland before as well, so if it is there, I will pick it up.
Get it watched. I've got the special edition sort of one with the extended thing. It's fucking great. But it is good. Get it watched. What's your last one?
It's fucking difficult.
It is, isn't it? Because I've only given you 5.
I don't know. It's sort of a toss-up, really. It's I just had one in mind. Then where's it gone?
Oh,
it's disappeared.
It's coming.
It's gone. It's a difficult one. I'm looking through some of the films here. It's like, would I pick that? It's like, but then would I put this over this? And it's like, no, I wouldn't. And I'd probably have to go with something either Spaceballs.
Which I criminally haven't seen.
But you're sort of not into your Star Wars, though, are you? So
if someone put it on in front of me and says, sit down and watch this, I'm not going to go kicking and screaming. I would not choose it to put on, though. If Star Wars was on the telly and there was fuck all else on, I'd go to sleep.
Yeah.
So it's not for me, personally, Star Wars.
It's a toss-up between that, Blazing Saddles.
See, I need to see that as well. I know a lot. It's a lot of Tarantino shits, but it's the Blazing Saddles will obviously go there. Never mind that shit. Here Comes Mongo.
Yeah.
Sort of like a comedy. Is it a comedy?
It is.
It's a Crazy Bunch I'm thinking of, isn't it? That Tarantino's based a lot of his shit on.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not that. But I need to see that as well. That's supposed to be a fucking cracking film.
But it's also sort of goes the other end of the spectrum. There's also like The Running Man, which is one of my favourite.
Oh, mate, love that film.
So,
do you know what? If I could box every single Arnold Schwarzenegger film and put it in together in one film, back to back, I would have that. I'd love Arnold Schwarzenegger.
So yeah, I'd play to go Running Man.
Yeah, Running Man's a great film.
Just because I remember watching it as a kid and sort of liking the way it's done. And it's one of those. If it's on TV and there's nothing else on, I will gladly sit and watch it because it's just I enjoy it so much.
It's just a fun film.
Yeah,
pure fun film. Because I said please. Yeah, cracking film. Love it.
Zero, no zero.
Is it the one that? Is that the one with Jesse Ventura in it as well? Yes, it is. Yeah, boy, it was. Yeah, I knew. I recognised him from somewhere, and I was like, "That's not Jesse Ventura, is it?" And I realised I was like, "Holy fuck, it's Jesse Ventura."
He was part of the reason why I watched it because I went through a whole thing of like, if it was wrestling related, I wanted to watch it as a kid. It was on Sci-Fi one night around my birthday. I was like, "Oh, can I watch it?" But Dad was like, "I might tape it for you." And I think he did tape it for me. I watched like the weekend, that following weekend. I finally watched it, and I just fell in love with the film. And it's like sort of I've heard stuff that they went back, they wanted to do a remake of it. And I was like, no, just leave it.
That's the thing as well, related to taping films. Did you ever master the art of while you were recording a film and watching it at the same time? Obviously, you're watching it and recording it to watch it at a later date as well. Did you ever master the art of stopping and starting it on the adverts?
No.
No, I never did as well. You always missed the first line. It's like, shit, it's missed it again. You can't even retry it.
What's that? I'd sometimes forget it was... Sometimes I'd not stop it because I thought, if I don't stop it, I'm not going to remember to hit record.
Yeah, I've done that.
And sometimes that led to me missing half of the film because I'd not thought to press record again.
Yeah. Do you know what we've done as well before? I remember what I think it was Demolition Man was on Channel 5. Remember when Channel 5 used to do great movies on 9 o'clock at night? Yeah. Near enough every night of the week. That's the only reason why people watched Channel 5 was the 9 o'clock movies. And then on a Friday night you had the softcore porn. If you remember. Yeah, so I remember it was not Die Hard, it was Demolition Man. And we decided for shits and giggles, we put the Die Hard... I keep saying Die Hard. I've got Die Hard on the brain. Demolition Man DVD in. And watched the DVD. Just to see if... Obviously, Channel 5 obviously had a habit of cutting a lot of the content out.
Yeah. On
their films. Now, we obviously played the DVD to see if it was any shorter. And funny enough, we actually got to the point, watched the whole damn Demolition Man film, watched it, stopped it, got it out, changed it back to the telly, and it just got to the bit where he was going into the cryo prison with his the Mustang.
Yeah.
That bit there where he just did the final fight with Simon Phoenix. So it shows you how much longer they put on the film just by putting adverts in. So
Well, that's it. It's like I was something before I got on from work, and it was The Amazing Spider-Man 2 was on. I think when I watched the film in the cinema, I think it was 2 hours 10 minutes.
yeah,
2 hours.
yeah.
The advert nearly 3 hours.
Fucking hell, it's bad, isn't it? Can you imagine, like I say, you're trying to watch Lord of the Rings in that time. Obviously, you got more advert breaks, haven't you, as well?
Mental at times.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So yeah, I've got to say my fifth one, haven't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, my fifth one. It's an easy one for me. It's going to be Pulp Fiction. It's got to be Pulp Fiction. Just the whole film, it from top to bottom is just fucking, for me, cinematic perfection. Every way. I mean, this is every part of that film is quotable. Every part of that section of that film is quotable.
Say what again?
Say what again, motherfucker? I dare you. I double dare you, motherfucker. Exactly. Oh,
like a bitch.
What does Marcellus Wallace look like? That whole just that whole section there, you can just quote the whole fucking rattle the whole thing off. Like the whole thing about giving people foot rubs. Is it sexual or not? Just the random conversations.
Like the Mackey's workers in Europe must get so annoyed at people who just go in and it's like, yeah, is it? Do you really call it Royale here? And there's multiple gods like thinking, fuck off. You watched Pulp Fiction before you came here. Just leave me alone.
Do you think people go to Paris just to do that?
Oh yeah.
Can I just have Royale with cheese? Fuck off.
I bet there's probably people that walk in and go, "Can I get a quarter pounder with cheese?" And they go, "Yeah, 1 Royale with cheese." I got it Royale.
Oh, fucking hell,
but, yes, we call it a Royale. Why is that funny? Like, it's like, you watched Pulp Fiction, didn't you? And like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. There's one, like I said, I've always, like I say, I'm not big a fan of the like Pulp Fiction. I've had like the wallet and everything at one point. You know, I've actually got 2 wallets at home that say "bad motherfucker" on them. You know, one's on me like, I used to have a shelf of interesting items like Ashens did.
Yeah.
But stuff that I proper like enjoyed, and that was part of it at one point. But obviously, when I moved house, it got took down and it's not been put back up again. So I need to persuade the missus to let me do that. Reinstate the shelf.
The first instance of Pulp Fiction I got was Fun Loving Criminals on Scooby Snacks.
Oh yeah.
Because the bit at the beginning, like quoting the was it Honey Bunny and Thingy in the diner.
Oh yeah. Jack Rabbit Slims.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jack Rabbit Slims. Well, it's Jack Rabbit Slims, isn't it, at the bar? I think it is.
Well, it's the whole everyone would be cool, it's a robbery.
Oh, that, yes.
Any of you fucking pigs move. And I'll execute every motherfucking last one of you.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, that was that was great. So yeah, I think if we were stranded, I think we'd be fairly entertained. I think, I quite enjoyed that. Speaking of things potentially I may enjoy, I actually do have some things that are edible to try this week. Now, I did pre-warn everybody I was getting certain things. Now, I mentioned this on the podcast last week. That I was going. I found somebody, Kenny, namely, had found some garlic bread flavoured rock. Now, I went to a couple of shops in Blackpool. There's one down South Shore, one in the New Market, Coxy, if you're interested, on Waterloo Road, right at the very front.
Yeah. And
the one that I went to, which was one of the rock shops next door to Poundland in town, and I was pleasantly surprised to find that it had a whole like Aladdin's cave of funky flavoured rock. Now, I have got enough rock to be testing rock now for the next potentially 3 weeks. Maybe longer, because I'm going to be buying a few more different flavours. So it's potentially could be going on for the next month. So if I get another 4 bars and then try 3 a week, it is 4 weeks.
Oh, I thought you were going to like trying like one at a time, like one a week or something. So so then it sort of stretches it out, and you're not sort of souring the taste with another one, because you have to do like a whole palette. If you have like a garlic bread one, it's like, oh, I'm going to try this. I don't know, this.
You see, I'm going to do it. It's very
ice cream flavour. It's like you have to do this whole sort of palate cleanse, and then. Yeah,
this is what I've actually kind of done, because I've kind of guesstimated what ones are going to be nice and which ones are going to taste like utter dog shit. You see, this week I have got 3 flavours that I'm going to try. Now, the first one that I'm going to try is chicken tikka flavour rock.
Lovely.
Yeah, chicken tikka. So we're going to open it up now. I don't know if you can hear it unwrapping now.
Yeah.
It's not quite. Got to remember, this is sugar, and it does tend to stick to things. So it's not exactly the most easiest thing to unwrap. Now, Penny Carr, if you're listening, this is not just a local delicacy of Blackpool. It's what was probably one of the most famous things that we're most famous for. But yeah, by the smell of it, do you know what? It does kind of smell like chicken tikka. And normally rock has something written through it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It does have something written on it, but I can't quite fucking read it. I don't know if it says giant on it. You've got IT at the end, so I don't know. So it's not giant, obviously. I don't know what it says, because the way I've broke it, I can't read it. So hopefully on the next one, when I break it a bit, I might be able to read it. But anyway, yeah, this is going in now. Let's give it a try. Do you hear that crunch?
Yeah, it's always an easy listening to someone like chew on rock. It just sounds like teeth breaking.
Yep.
Is that the rock, or is that the teeth?
Right, well, there's a sweet taste.
Okay.
But rock is mostly sugar, obviously. Now, you get a really massive initial hit of chicken tikka. But once you get past that, it's not offensive.
But is it like a sort of, are you getting spice but you got sweetness as well? Or?
There's no spice to it, it just tastes of the taste, if you get what I mean. There's no actual spice to it. You still there, Coxy?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's there. I thought we'd lost you then. That's not too bad. It's obviously you get a big hit of chicken tikka, which is a bit weird. But once you get past the initial hit, it's not too bad. Now, obviously, I'm not going to try loads of it at once because I've got another 2 flavours to try. But I don't know. I would imagine it would probably get a bit overwhelming after a while. That, but overall, it's not too bad. That one. It's actually not too bad. Now I'm going to try one that I think potentially is going to be a nice one. Now, just to cleanse. And it is fizzy cola flavour.
So that one should be alright.
I'd imagine it would be alright. Now, the missus actually did try this before. Because she was like, I've showed her I've got flavours out, and she's like, oh, I wanted to try that one. So obviously, me being the sulky child, I was like, oh, go on then. So yeah, she tried it. I'm not
sure, though, how fizzy cola will transfer over well in rock. It's like with jelly sweets, it seems to work, but I don't know if that would work well with rock.
Well, thing is, though, with fizzy cola bottles, the fizziness isn't coming from the flavour of the cola bottle, is it? It comes from like the sugar that's around the outside of it. So yeah, well, Darren on you, I apologise. But yeah, my missus tried it before, and I was watching her face as she ate it, and all I'm going to say is she didn't look repulsed.
Yeah.
So yeah, here we go. This is I didn't tell you the colour of the rock, did I?
No.
The chicken tikka one is like a orange, yellow, and brown striped. One. The cola one is just red and white stripes. So here we go. Bottom. Well, I would say bottoms up. It's not a drink, you complete cretin. Ugh, right. Broken teeth. Here we come. Did you hear that?
Yep.
Yep. Right. That tastes like definitely cola. Really fucking nice. Really nice. Not fizzy in the slightest though. Yeah, it tastes like them Chupa Chups cola lollipops.
Yeah, I figured it would.
So it's exactly the same as... Yeah.
Sort of difficult to convey an actual fizziness into rock.
I don't know when you bite it, there's a bit of fizziness, maybe. I'm just biting it now, there's a bit of a tingle there. That's fucking sensational, that's nice. Safe to say that'll be getting eaten in the editing process. That is lovely.
You put out like your rock cigar.
Yeah, that'll be my rock cigar. That is really nice, actually.
That's me not sleeping tonight.
Sugar! I am called Julio. I need tippy for my bunghole. Bunghole. That's. Do you know what? That's one of the films. Going backwards, that topic potentially should have been on the list. Beavis and Butthead Do America. And funny enough, it's another fucking Bruce Willis film.
It's one of them Beavis and Butthead though. Like the cartoon now I quite enjoyed. The film itself, I've never really keen on.
Oh, I enjoyed the film more than the cartoon. Oh, just weird like that. Oh, we need to sneeze. Well, that's really good. Oh, it was maybe so good, made me sneeze. Oh, right. Last one is the one that I mentioned last week. Garlic bread flavour rock. It has written on the label, it's the future. So, I wonder where I got that quote from. The colour of the rock is like a brown with one green stripe going right round it.
Okay.
So, yeah, this looks great. Not looking forward to this in the slightest. I'm just unwrapping it now. I don't know if you can hear that.
Yep.
Like I say again, it's sugar. It's been in my bag all day, and it's yeah. I might be able to read this one. Oh, it actually tells you the flavour written through the rock.
Oh.
So this one's actually just says garlic going through it. So I'm going to assume it's not garlic bread flavour. It's just going to have a massive fucking sledgehammer hit of garlic.
Oh yeah, it's like them sort of saying physical. You're not going to get like a bready taste or anything.
No, you fuck. It's half a lie. It's like the chicken tikka one. You don't taste chicken, you just taste the tikka. So yeah, I'm going to give this a try. So broken teeth time, here we go. Oh my, oh! 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 Oh, I've got nothing to spit it out into. Oh, that's fucking disgusting. Oh, man. Oh. Fucking hellfire. It's just basically, you may as well just get a piece of garlic and bite it. Oh, man. Oh. Thing is, though, I bit it, there's a bit of a sweet afterbit taste to it. But that initial, like I said to you, when I said to you it was like a sledgehammer hit.
Yeah.
You know the scene out of Con Air where Cyrus the Virus gets killed? With a big fucking thing that hits him on the head?
Yeah.
That is what, that was the garlic. Oh, man. It's really strong. Really, really, really strong. That's, you eat garlic bread, it's normally rather a subtle garlicky taste, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, it's just pure garlic. Pure garlic.
They probably use like a really strong extract, haven't they, or something more?
Yeah, it's amped up to it's amped up to 11. The taste on that, that's not good. Oh, but yeah, verdict: chicken tikka, passable. I'd imagine after a while it might build up, it might become unpleasant. The fizzy cola one is fucking amazing. Probably second nicest flavoured rock flavour I've ever had, behind Iron Brew. Iron Brew's amazing, by the way.
Iron Brew's amazing than anything, though.
There you go. There, yeah, Iron Brew's just godly, absolutely godly. Garlic bread. Don't even ship it to Guantanamo Bay. It's grim. That is not nice. That's actually the worst tasting I've done on the podcast. That's worse than Mega Malt. It's not nice. That's grim. Next week,
I'm waiting for the one day you have like a sort of a meal, like a taste test meal. Like you'll have a can of Mega Malt, you'll have your tinned bloody shite or whatever it was.
Or the bolognese.
Dessert,
yeah, the worst meal possibly we can put together.
Yeah,
and we can all have it and dine it. That'll be good. That sounds good to me. We'll do that one day.
We'll do it like a YouTube video just to get everyone's reactions.
Be like LA Beast. Who can get through it?
Oh, fucking hell.
But next week, I can't remember exactly what flavours I do have at home, but I think two of them I'm going to try next week is Scrumpy Cider.
That should be alright. And
Jaeger Bomb. I have Jaeger Bomb Rock, so. And I think I might actually. You said about ice cream flavour. I do actually have an ice cream flavour, so I'm going to bring that with me. So next week we're going to have ice cream, Jaeger Bomb, and Scrumpy Cider.
Well, I can see the cider one. I've had like.
Oh, we're going to go for predictions.
Well, I've had a cider ice lolly before, and they normally taste quite nice. So I think you're going to get either quite a strong hit of actual apple, or you're going to get like a sort of a bitter apple taste. Yeah,
what we tend to find with these three that I've tried today is they've obviously had two words in the title and of the flavour of the rock, and clearly half the title is a fucking lie.
Yeah.
Because chicken tikka, we are tasting no chicken. The fizzy cola, there was no fizz. And the garlic bread, there was no fucking bread flavour, I'll tell you that right now. So, yeah, I'm going to assume it's obviously the Scrumpy Cider, it's going to be some sort of, it's going to be cidery tasting, I reckon. It's going to be sort of like an apple taste to it. Ice cream, you'll probably just taste creamy. You know, vanilla. Probably taste the vanilla.
Sweet cream flavour.
Yeah, more than like that Mr. Whippy sort of thing.
Yeah, essentially.
Jaeger Bomb, I reckon it's going to take of Jaeger.
Well, it'll be... You'll get a sort of Jaegery taste. You might have a bit of Red Bull in there, or sort of a mild energy drink flavour.
Yeah.
But I think you'll get sort of a hint of one and a hit of the other, but it'll be a bit like sort of... You'll get that sort of cheap, nasty Red Bull flavour.
Oh, Red Rooster.
Yeah, you'll get sort of a flavour of that, and then you'll get like sort of a slight aftertaste of like non-alcoholic Jaeger.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. That does sound good to me.
So, but then I think the Jaeger will sort of taste more like cough syrup.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's possibly going to taste like that.
I use Jaeger for cough syrup at times when I've had a cough before, but
yeah, it works.
I keep forgetting I've got a bottle next to me here of Jägermeister Spice, which I've barely touched still. And I really need to get through it because I've only had about a third of a bottle.
Yeah, you need to get some of that drunk. And on that bombshell, I'm going to get myself a drink so I can wash that horrible fucking garlic taste away. While we're doing that, we're going to go for a quick break. We'll be right back after these short messages.
Hey, this is Coxy, reminding you to check out the Lost Art of Podcasting. We cover reviews, interviews, listener topics, our own topics. We even take a general look at life and the world around us. So I'll find the Lost Art Podcasting on Spreaker, Stitcher, iTunes, even YouTube and all of the good podcast places.
Guy. Don't forget to support the RAD podcast by visiting us on Facebook and liking the page. Also going on Twitter using the hashtag UKRAD podcast and at UKRAD podcast. You can find this podcast on Spreaker, Stitcher, YouTube, iTunes and many other places that support podcasts. Don't forget to also support our friends at the Lost Art of Podcasting by visiting their page on Facebook. On Twitter, they are at Lost Art Podcast. And you can also find them on Spreaker, Stitcher, YouTube and iTunes, as well as other good podcast providers. Don't forget you can also support the These People podcasts. They are a great little podcast that we have discovered recently. You can find them on iTunes and Spreaker, and you can visit their website at www.thesepeoplepodcast.com. And also don't forget to support the sponsor of the Preston City Wrestling Fan Prediction League, Avant-Garde Security. They specialise in home security, CCTV and gatehouse security. So if you feel like your house needs a bit of security beefing up, or you just want a bit of CCTV, or you're a business and you want some gatehouse security, or even door security, go to www.avant-gardesecurity.co.uk. That's www.avant-gardesecurity.co.uk. Now it's back to the RAD podcast. Hi and welcome back to the RAD podcast. We are now reloaded our mugs of coffee to take away the taste of fucking garlic. Oh fuck! I'm still having flashbacks. Even though it wasn't that long ago, but still, the taste is still there. The taste is still there. Yeah, you see, I literally all I did was bite it, chew it, and then it literally spat it out. And I've still got the taste. That shows you how strong that garlic taste was. It's fucking disgusting. Speaking of disgusting, well, like I say, it's a nice little segue sort of thing into a topic that I have written down. It's another one of those smash in case of emergency sort of topics. Don't know why, it just seems to segue nicely, so I'm going to use it. Not that we need it, because there's plenty to talk about. Disgusting combinations of food that you really... Well, obviously, disgusting as in air quotations. Combinations of foods that you really like. Or, like something to say that you like combining, people turn around and go, you what, you dirty bastard? I've got at least one.
I'm trying to think if there's anything like that. The only thing I've had like that was because my favourite hot sauce at the moment is Red's.
Yeah.
Not Red's even, sorry, Frank's. It's because it's red, but Red's is also a nice sauce as well. But it's my favourite hot sauce at the moment to put on is Frank's. Because part of their tagline is put that shit on everything.
Oh, phone's going off.
Jeff Hardy's in the building.
Yeah.
Another wellness policy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I put it on. I think the only thing I haven't put it on was is like a peanut butter sandwich yet. But I did put it once on a Dairy Lee sandwich and then tweeted Reds about it, and they're like, good. And then I sort of thinking back about it, as like, that wasn't actually such a good idea, but at the same time it did work. But yeah, there's nothing really. Oh,
no man, this phone being iffy. But yeah, I think some of the things that I sort of like I've enjoyed whatchamacallit, one of the ones that I tend to like is peanut butter and tomato sauce. Not tomato sauce, tomato soup. So, like peanut butter sandwiches dipped in tomato soup. Tends to be one of my ones. I tell people, like I say it all the time, like, oh, do you know what? It's one of my treat meals that I have.
Yeah.
And it's what I do is I tell people I make the sandwich and peanut butter and what have you, as you normally would.
Yeah.
And then obviously all I do is I cut it up and then dip it into the soup. And then I obviously eat it as is. And people look at me as if to say, you absolute dirty twat. Why are you doing that? It's just wrong. It's not. It's a combination that doesn't mix together. So it tastes all right on my taste buds. So I thought, fuck what you think. I'll have that. And people, I don't know. I've not met anyone that says, do you know what? I do that as well. Not one.
This sounds like another Bartians episode because they've done like weird. They have people sending weird combos.
Yeah.
I think the only one that I've sort of done was I've always like they did one. It was someone sent it into them. It said something like chocolate and cheese and onion crisps. But I've always done it with salt and vinegar crisps. And I would prefer. You get that sort of weird. You've got the sweetness of the chocolate, and you've got the saltiness and the vinegar of the crisps. I've always found sort of weird, but intriguing fine sort of thing.
That's one of mine as well. I tend to like you say, salt and vinegar flavour, but I like I say, goes back to tomato soup. Everything I do is with tomato fucking soup for some reason. Dip it in tomato soup and eat them with that. But another thing that I do like, which I actually really annoyed a lot of people once on the training course because it fucking stunk, was I had ham and sweet Thai chili sauce sandwiches, and yeah, you're cringing. I loved it. I proper enjoyed it, and I was like, people looking at me say you may as well shit on a piece of bread, net that. I was like, well, no, I'm enjoying it. I have very weird tastes. Thank you very much. I will enjoy that.
No,
I do.
Not one I've had myself, but there was someone I used to know a few years back. They had like a really weird sort of sense of sort of when it came to like making food, they had a really weird way about it. Like they used to like have peanut butter and Marmite sandwiches.
Yeah, peanut butter and Marmite
together.
Oh, you sick freak! Oh, you utter sick freak!
Yeah, it's like when I was a kid. Even still now, I'll make myself like maybe 3 sandwiches or 4 sandwiches, depending on what mood I'm in. I'll have 2 peanut butter and 2 Marmite, and they were like, "No, I mix them together. I have peanut butter on one slice and Marmite on the other, and smack it together." Another one they did was Marmite and mayonnaise.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Oh, no way, man.
So,
peanut butter and mayonnaise?
There's Marmite and mayonnaise.
Oh, Marmite and mayonnaise. I don't know why I got peanut butter on the brain. Marmite and mayonnaise. Why?
They liked it.
Why? I mean...
I'll pass.
The only thing that I would say that I think, obviously you know about my little concoction that I make with mayonnaise.
Yeah.
The Tabasconaise, which is Tabasco sauce and mayonnaise mixed together. And that's I put that with chicken burgers, and it's absolutely the nicest thing ever. But yeah, nothing should be mixed with mayonnaise. To be fair though, it's egg, isn't it? And everyone knows my feeling on egg. So it's a no-goer for me on that one. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Apart from anything that people have, that may have not had. Obviously, you've not lived unless you've had a noodle sandwich.
I think I did when I worked back at one of the Simmers one time.
Yeah, it's a necessity. It's got to be done at some point. Absolutely got to be done. The thing is, though, it's got to be super noodles. It can't be anything else. Super noodles or fuck all on a butty. It has to be super noodle. I mean, main reason being you've got the quality of the noodle, but at the same time, you've also got the funky flavours that they come with as well. There's not many things you can eat. You get chicken and mushroom pie flavour noodles.
Yeah.
For example. So, I think, everyone at one point in their life needs to try a super noodle sandwich. It's got to be done. Absolutely. So, shall we move on?
Well, I was going to I had a plan to with that topic, because I mentioned Bartians, I was hoping to had this plan of segueing, because it segues from one bit into another bit into, yeah.
Well, this show is about as smooth at segueing as, sandpaper, so go for it.
because of like Ashens and that, we were talking the other day about his film, The Quest for the Game Child.
Yes, which I have yet to see.
I actually ordered it tonight.
Yeah.
It was like a 2-disc Blu-ray and DVD for like £5 or £6 or something. So I couldn't resist.
You can't. That's illegal. I mean, if ever one day Ashens ever hears this, Ashens, we love you. We love your stuff. Send us free stuff. Sign my book.
Well, he's got a second book coming out this year. His second gaming book coming out this year as well.
Yes.
I think it's on the 2nd of November.
Yeah, I need to get him to sign my 50,000 Shades of Grey. It needs to be done.
This one's called Attack of the Flickering Skeletons. It's more terrible old games you've probably never heard of.
Yeah, I've seen bits and bobs of it online. It does look very interesting. I need to see it. And apparently, it's going to be a very good, very, 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 very high quality print, isn't it?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's going to be worth the money.
But it's. I'm hoping when he releases it, he's going to do another book tour again.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Get it signed again.
Yeah, I'd have to join you. Do you reckon he would sign my 50,000 Shades of Grey while he's at it?
I reckon so. Yeah.
Yeah, it can't be done.
It was a free signing essentially because all you have to do is turn up with the book or buy the book at Weatherspoons, Waterstones even.
Yeah.
And he was just like signing it by turn up with my hoodie on because luckily it fell on the same day. It fell a good day for me because it was 2 days after my birthday. This was 2015. And it fell 2 days after my birthday, but I had a ticket to a Progress show.
Nice.
That same day, so I was like, oh, this is fucking timing. I was like, right.
The heavens have all aligned.
But yeah, my mum was driving to Manchester to see her sister, so I was like, right, I'm getting driven to Manchester, so I've got to get like a metro from Manchester to the city centre, then go buy the book, then meet Ashens, then get some lunch and go watch Progress. I was like, so I need to do this more often.
That's fucking
brilliant.
That's fucking jackpot, that right there, mate. Absolute, that is jackpot.
It was quite funny though because I was in like the queue and like went up met Ashens. And he signed my book and he said, got a picture of him. He's like, oh yes. He's like, you're wearing toggle. He's like, there's no toggle in the world. He's like, I do have toggle appreciation. He just grabs the thing on my hoodie. He's like looking at it, just pointing on it. He's like toggle appreciation. I was like, thanks, Ashens. Toggles.
Fuck's sake. What if I turned up with my hat on and go hat appreciation?
Yeah.
I think he'd enjoy a good hat, Ashens. He likes a bit of a hat. But yeah, I need to see that. Was it the Hunt for the Game Child? Or Quest for the Game Child? Yeah, I need to see that film. I've been meaning to see it for donkeys. What I have seen on YouTube, to be honest with you, I mentioned in the 50,000 Shades of Grey, is there's actually an audio book of 50,000 Shades of Grey on YouTube. I shit you not.
I'm going to have to look this up.
You go on there, do it. You're going to have to play it into your microphone if you can find it. But there absolutely is an audio book of 50,000 Shades of Grey out there. And I obviously didn't watch the entire video, but I just know there's actually
part 1 of 25.
Yeah. Have you found it? Go on, got to play it on the mic. Come on.
There we go.
Excellent audiobooks proudly presents.
I'll skip it forward a bit.
Yeah.
Shades of Grey.
See, I told you. It just goes on and on and on.
The actual comments, the comments are brilliant though. There's like, I'm just going to mute that for a minute. There's the one comment from 3 years ago. The best part is at 12:43 when he says "Shades of Grey." So someone's replied, "It's one of the best lines from this excellent novel." My favourite part was where he said "Shades of Grey."
Do you know what? I'm going to have to put pictures on the Facebook group on it to show people that don't know who Ashens is, that this book actually exists.
I have to congratulate Ashens for writing a story that in such a beautiful way portrays both the worst and the best of society.
Fucking hellfire! Yeah, I'm gonna have to put it on. I'm gonna have to put it on Facebook, aren't I? This picture of this book. Where she does say from cover to cover, all it says is "Shades of Grey" 50,000 times. And for some reason, I have this book. So I want this book signed for that reason, because obviously. It's a few times. I remember taking it to a training course. There was somebody there that was absolutely obsessed with 50 Shades of Grey. And I said to him, "Do you know what? There's a new book come out." I was like, "What?" "It's called 50,000 Shades of Grey. It's a lot better than the 50 Shades of Grey." But, "Oh, really? Bring it in. I want to have a read of it." So I brought it in Excel the test and went, boom, straight to the table. "There you go. Have a read of that." They start opening it. "For you fucking bastard." Loads of people I've got with that. Loads. It's absolutely brilliant.
But yeah, so I've got Quest for the Game Channel coming tomorrow, hopefully. But it's sort of segueing from that back into what we talked about before about films and ratings and stuff.
Oh yeah.
If I can remember my train of thought. It was going back to ratings.
Oh yeah, the BRDC or something like it's called.
BBFC.
BBFC. Yeah, see, I'm fucking useless when it comes to movies.
Because they're the ones that do all the ratings and that, and it's like sort of saying like Fifth Element's a PG.
Yes.
And like Wayne's World PG, Running Man's an 18, but I lost my train of thought now with this.
Oh.
I had a whole tangent ready, but it's gone.
Because it goes Shades of Grey.
Yeah, Shades of Grey. Shades of Grey.
Shades of Grey. Shades of Grey. Shades of Grey. Shades of Grey. Shades of Grey.
But, yeah, it's a weird thing of like how the rating system has changed nowadays. It's like you look at it, even like I've got James Bond film popped up in front of me. Look at the Bond films; they were all mostly originally PGs.
This is it, but half the film is pumping somebody.
There's that, or there's people getting shot and blown up and
fed to sharks with lasers on their freaking heads.
Yeah. I think there's only been like 115. The rest have been like from I think GoldenEye onwards. They're all like a 12.
Yeah, there was one with Timothy Dalton, wasn't there? That was actually a 15.
Yeah.
And to this day, I still don't know why it was a 15 compared to the other ones. But might have something to do with the fact it was something to do with drug dealing. Perhaps, I don't know. Because it was drugs, wasn't it? I believe.
I'd have to watch it back.
I'm sure it's something to do with drugs.
One of the ones I haven't watched that many times compared to the rest.
It's that one where the end scene is where they're getting chasing all the fucking oil tankers. You know, the trucks. And they all explode everywhere. Because, you know, that bodes well. That's a great getaway vehicle, a vehicle that spontaneously, one wrong bang and it spontaneously combusts. Yeah, safe. You know... So it's like what was it? I can't remember which film it was. It had I know it was Roger Moore, but it was a scene where they're getting away in the airship, and James Bond's got a handgun. So, gee, they're trying to get away with the airship, and it's just taken off. Gee, I wonder what you shoot.
Oh, View to a Kill.
That's it. And see, I want to stop them from taking off. What do? I know, shoot the fucking airbag. Oh, man. They had to do it the most elaborate way possible.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
They got to draw it out for 20 minutes.
Exactly. You know. Oh, that could be a problem. Put a fucking hole in it. Jesus.
Yeah, sort of going back to like you were saying now about like the Rocky films were all PGs, but then it's like you look at the likes of like Kickboxer, Van Damme. That was I think an 18 or a 15 when it came out. I think it was an 18 actually, but I think it's recently been downgraded to a 15. I think. But you know, like Kickboxer, Bloodsport, again, sort of similar vein, but not as story driven. I think would probably be the way to put it. And
yeah, I think that would be fair.
But it's like looking at it back in the day, like when the Warriors came out. Originally, it was rated X because they didn't have 18 at the time. It was, I think, PG. There was something else, and then there was it was X. And it was
Hence the serve X rated.
Well, it was sort of what they classified as like extreme violence or something, or like it was like the X at the time was like the essentially an 18.
Yeah.
And then it got re-released, I think, and it was downgraded to an 18. And then it was only recently, in the past sort of I think 10 years, it was downgraded to a 15. So, but they class thingy that as like a lack of violence, like with the rules and stuff changing over the years, it's been reclassified.
It's what I think it's what socially has been accepted has changed.
There's that, but it's like you look at Jaws. Originally was a PG.
You get a guy that gets bitten in half.
Yeah, even when it got re-released, so on DVD, I think around 10, 15 years ago, it was re-released in the 12. It was re-rated as the 12.
Well, you got to think about it as well. It's not even that long ago. If you look at Jurassic Park and The Lost World, they were rated PG. Both of them was rated PG, but both of them have a guy getting bitten in half. And
another one that comes up now in mind, Back to the Future. He at one point like you have the doc. Oh, and this baby hits 88 miles an hour. You're gonna see some serious shit. And then gets gunned down. And Marty screams, "No, bastards!"
Yeah, that's not PG nowadays. I mean, Cars. Cars is a PG film. The film Cars is PG. And you're putting it in the same category, film-wise, as someone getting shot, someone getting bitten in half. Fuck Rocky, someone getting their face hit so hard that they're getting morphed out of recognition. Oh no, McQueen's not winning the race. Do you know what else can we watch that's in the film category? I know, let's watch Rocky get the fuck kicked out of him. It's kind of what I mean. The rating system's fucked up. Really is fucked up. And obviously, I think, either they need to relax what is allowed to be a PG nowadays now, or they need to reclassify what was a PG back then.
Yeah.
Basically, it needs a massive review because it's obviously it's not fit for purpose.
It's like looking at films like The Jerk and Blazing Saddles. Both have quite a bit of racial slurs and not derogatory in any sense. Well, Blazing Saddles they are, but it was written by Richard Pryor, he contributed to writing, and Richard Pryor was a black comedian. But at the same time, sort of the context of it is you meant to more sort of laugh at it rather than sort of be, oh no, he said the N-word sort of thing.
Yeah, it'd be an outcry nowadays, but you got to think about what was socially acceptable at the time.
Well, around the time, I don't think it wasn't sort of that socially acceptable. People also, it's a Mel Brooks film. It's like it's Richard Pryor's helped write it sort of thing. So
I didn't mean obviously that thing. I mean the sort of like values that were held at the time.
So yeah.
Not necessarily the racism card, which obviously that's abhorrent no matter what time period you come from, but certain ideals, like, I don't know, for example, back in like the 80s and what have you, You wouldn't think twice about having your kid watch a boxing fight.
Yeah.
If you sat a kid now, a 7 or 8 year old, to watch a boxing fight with you, and someone took it the wrong way, they'll be bringing fucking social services now. We're exposing them to things that's not adequate for their age group. Shut the fuck up. You see fist fights in the playground left, right and centre. If anything, it's safer.
This sort of then harkens though to that thing I say about like you have people that say, oh, don't swear in front of my child or whatever, and that it's like, or and shit like that, and it's like, oh, they can't watch this film. It's like, well, just watch the news.
Yeah.
You see him, dead bodies get dragged through the streets of bloody Syria and shit.
Yeah.
Like.
It's like when I put this every morning when I come downstairs with my kids. We put the news on. First thing I say to my son and my daughter, I nearly gave the names up then. That we say we're going to put Mummy Daddy we're going to put Mummy Daddy telly on now, which is BBC Breakfast.
So you say to Randy puts BBC Breakfast on? Yeah.
So we put BBC Breakfast on. Obviously, some of the stories are not nice. Obviously, we've had the Syria bombings and things like that. And you had, obviously, the imagery that's come with that. So, obviously, they're watching the telly. We're getting, every now and again, there'll be glimpses at it, seeing what's going on. It's like Rico was like, when he saw the missiles getting launched, he went, oh, wow, rocket! Not realising they were fucking cruise missiles, for example.
Yeah.
But obviously, they're having the breakfast and what have you, and the next thing 8 o'clock, CBeebies is on or something, whatever, whether they're watching, or Blazing the Monster Machines, or Paw Patrol, or whatever the fuck it is. But before that time, we watched the news, and we watch, obviously, I like to keep up to date with the news. I like to see at least one news bulletin a day. Just so I know what's going on in the world, even if it's a 15-minute news, like, sort of flash sort of thing.
Yeah.
But obviously I use that morning time to actually, keep up with my news and see what's been going on. And obviously, because I'm watching that, the kids are seeing that as well. Like you've just been saying, they'll just watch a news bulletin and you see, shit, there's all these, dead babies in fucking Syria that are all over the news. And they've seen that. But then you won't let them watch a PG film.
No.
So it's... it swings and roundabouts. It's a weird one. So...
Yeah, it's one of them though. It's like, as much as I sort of slate on people for, there's like people that buy not so much slate it, but it's like nowadays you get people like the kids are playing bloody, what do you call that, Call of Duty and that.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, I did it back in the day. I played Grand Theft Auto as a kid, but that was like a top-down bloody shooter with you're firing little bloody Pac-Man pellets or whatever at people. And,
oh yeah.
It's
the good GTA. You mean?
Yeah, the very very first.
Yeah, I still play that fucking game. It's great.
And whereas nowadays you got like kids playing Xbox or PS4, whatever, like playing Call of Duty online. Like,
and tell everyone they're gonna fuck the mothers.
Yeah.
But you're 12, you haven't even got pubes yet. I'm still gonna fuck your mum.
Yeah.
But yeah, I see where you're coming from. I mean, it's like, you won't let them go and see. You won't, for example, you may as well, if you're letting your kids play Call of Duty, they're going to play the campaign, they're going to play the online, they're going to hear left, right, and centre, they're going to see all this shit, but you won't let them go to see a 15 film. But it's essentially the same thing, if not worse.
Which I think it helps over here, though, in a way, with us having the actual rating system in place that we do. With it being that if you are not 15, you cannot go and watch this film. Within like America, if it's rated R, you can go as long as you're accompanied by a parent.
See, that's obviously, you've got to enforce that in the cinema. But when you buy it in the shop, if you're a parent and you're buying that, it's only an advisory, isn't it? As soon as money's exchanged hands, doesn't matter what you do with that game then, or video, does it?
There's that, but then it's also like things like nowadays you got to think about like Netflix and stuff as well. Like if you don't have the parental controls set on your Netflix, you can your kid or whatever go on and they might accidentally click onto your profile or whatever, and then all of a sudden they're watching bloody
Itchy the Killer.
or they're watching Making a Murderer or something like that.
Yeah, you got to be careful in that respect as well. But like I say, it's hard to enforce as well because they're going to see shit anyway, regardless of what you do. No matter how much you shelter and put them in a little bubble, they're going to see stuff. I mean, literally, you can walk down the street and you're going to see some little arsehole. Like what happened to me a couple of months back now, when I had that fucking scrote hide behind me to go and jump on someone in front of my 3-year-old child. It's going to happen. You can't shelter them constantly. I think personally, it might be better to obviously, pipette drip. Do you know what I mean? Certain things, for example,
don't give them everything at once or whatever. You just I didn't watch every film going in one go. Like, I was shown my dad might tape something and here, watch this film. You'll probably like it, and it was like It or Running Man or Demolition Man or something like that, or Predator. I wasn't showing hey, tonight you're gonna watch Running Man. Tomorrow night you're watching Predator. It wasn't showing you and go, here, play GTA as well while you're doing that.
It's not like I saying to the 3-year-old son, let me just show you this website. It's fucking bestscore.com.
Yeah. Here's Pornhub.
Exactly. Do you know these what else you could use titties for? It's like you've got to put the news on. You're not going to turn it off because there's some obviously the Syrian thing. You're not just going to turn it off. But at the same time, you're not showing them here we're going to go on 4chan. We're going to find a wrecked thread and we're going to watch an ISIS soldier behead somebody. You know what I mean? It's all about what it's like introducing slowly, not that you should introduce somebody to watching somebody get beheaded, but you're going to come across situations which are not going to be for young eyes, and you're not going to be able to 100% avoid it. Now, is it complete? What's better? What is a better approach? Is it going to be wrap them in cotton wool and things like that, and they cannot see anything, and then they get to 18, like, shit, what do I do? Or do you kind of, tweezer feed them and give them a little bit here and there, just a little bit of exposure, just so that, when they get to 18, they're not completely fucked.
You've got to sort of very much sort of, I think, drip feed, essentially.
Yeah, I think that's the term I was looking for, but for some reason my brain weren't working.
It comes down against that advent of YouTube is another one. You have these content creators that are making videos and they're dropping shits and fucks like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah, like us.
There's people like PewDiePie who do it. He's got millions of subscribers or whatever and billions of views. But then these kids are watching his videos and they're hearing him swear and then they're going, oh well, he swears, so it must be all right.
Yeah.
It's like it's easy enough to subscribe to something, or I know they always say your parents should use the YouTube Kids app or whatever, but
it's shit though. I've tried it. It's fucking garbage.
It's like I've got some stuff I'm subscribed to. One's like a sort of horror story YouTube. It's like podcasts or sort of short horror stories from podcasts and vice versa, stuff like that. And that's easy enough for people to get to. I've got CW stuff on there. That's easy enough to get to if you know how to look or where to look. There's uncensored music videos. You've got it's a stranger one nowadays because there's so much.
It's I get what you're coming from. It's for example, if you look for video game characters, for example, say you're into your Super Mario, and you type in Super Mario, and next thing you know, you got fucking Starbomb songs coming out at you.
Well, it's not even so much that, but it's you can start off with, here's someone playing Super Mario, and it's right, you get here's a walkthrough, whatever, and then you get here's a Super Mario view, and it's right, I'm playing this level, it's really shit, and I've just fucking died. Yeah. Fuck it, I'll start again. And it's right, so in the space of a minute of that, maybe 5-minute video, you've already heard 3 swear words.
This is it. I mean, I was watching.
Kids are watching.
You know. So I was watching. I watch my driver career mode on. It's like a modded F1 2016 sort of thing. It's a guy called Arava, and he Fs and Jeffs as he's doing the races. Now he actually does it like it's an actual like Sky show.
Yeah.
Like commentates on it from his point of view and things like that. And he actually Fs and Jeffs on his own performance on it. So you're thinking Formula 1 games, they're not going to have any effing and jeffing. It's just literally about there's no story in it. There's no like levels of such. It's you get in a car and you drive. That's all you do. But when you're thinking about let's look for footage of it. People do F and Jeff, and you're right. You know, you're looking for like game like walkthroughs. Like, for example, you could be playing fucking Rayman, for example. And there's nothing offensive about Rayman. You know, but someone could be playing it, and then next thing you know, it's like, oh, for fuck's sake, I hope that's this fucking level. And then you're already exposing one sentence, like, you know what I mean? So, I think like what we're saying, you need to be like pipette fed, rather than like, you know, just drawing the curtains back and just showing everything. It's better to have the blinds on and open them up slowly. So, I think that's
it's sort of we end up somehow going slightly off topic. But
very, very much so. But that's the name of the game.
It still comes down to the whole thing of censorship at the end of the day. Like, it's because with games as well, the BBFC has to watch the cutscenes of any game that comes out. So, Mass Effect, for the latest Mass Effect, for example, someone will have had to sit there and watch each cutscene and rate that cutscene. So it could be, this cutscene's a 12A. This one's a PG, this one's a 15, so right, this game is currently going to be rated at a 15, sort of thing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The actual game violence doesn't factor in as well, but I think that's from a different board. I think it's like the Peggy board or whatever, but then it's also the cutscene, it's the BBFC.
Yeah. So. Yeah, that makes sense in a way. That does make sense. Obviously, when you're talking about Mass Effect, they're having to deal with frontal nudity on some of it now. So yeah, or at least boobs anyway. Boobs are always good. So, yay! But yeah, we'll move on anyway. I think because there's an event. There's something happening this weekend, Coxy. I think we're kind of sort of going to it, aren't we?
I believe we are.
Yes, it's the Chili Fest 2017. This Saturday. Me and Coxy are going to get our fucking faces exploded.
Oh, the joys.
Yes, we are going to Chili Fest and we're going to be trying a shitload of hot sauces.
Yep.
Hopefully. And I believe, are we still doing is it the 10-minute burn?
Provided the guys there that had it last year, there's only like one guy. He's a guy the guy makes it in the UK and he normally does festivals, and he was there last year. Yes. So hopefully he's there this year.
Mm-hmm.
Because I would like to try it, but the problem is I've got to hopefully go and interview the Lounge Kittens later on that day as well. So
I'm hallucinating. It was that hot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to it anyway. So, I mean, I've managed to get the day booked off work, so just the one day. So I might be coming in the next day with an arse as runny as Niagara Falls. But it'll be worth it.
It depends what you're after, because I'm hoping to get down early enough, because I've got to go I've been told yesterday I've got to go for fire drill training on Saturday morning.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that's like 9 o'clock-ish. Because what I'll play and do is I'll go and grab breakfast in town or something. I'll head to Chili Fest. I think Chili Fest starts at 10 o'clock or 10:30, something like that.
Well, I'll join you because that day I finish at 8 o'clock in the morning because I'm doing a sleep. So I can get home, have a shower, get changed, and I can come and meet you. So that sounds like a good plan to me.
Well, it's because last time I went as well, I got down about 1 o'clock-ish. And a few of the stalls had sold out of some of their sauces already because they only bought like a
small
like
white. Yeah.
Because I got the Crazy Bastard habanero and tomatillo sauce. Tomatillo. But they also had a Scotch bonnet one, which is sold out.
Mm.
But I'm not much of a fan of Scotch bonnets, really. I like habanero and the fruitiness.
Yeah,
The
it's,
heat.
you could say Scotch bonnet is just nothing but fucking heat, really, isn't it? So, but yeah, I'm with you on that one. But yeah, I wouldn't mind getting down a bit earlier anyway, so it'd be nice. It'd obviously get down there.
It was good when I went down last time, because you could chat to some of the vendors who were like giving you advice on what if like, how hot do you like it? What chilies do you like? Like, I like habanero. Oh, you'll like this one, then try this one. And you're just sort of you're there watching, you just like wait, like you try a bit. They give you like a crack of something, you try a bit, and it's like just watching for your reaction. Just go, fuck, that's hot.
I think that's going to be the reaction of the day. I think.
Like, a couple of times, I was like trying a bit, and I was like coughing. The guy's like, hot enough for you? I was like, a bit. It's like, cheers.
Now,
come back.
Now, are we going to film some of this for our pages? Or not?
I think that should be a possibility.
I think it should be, because I'm debating whether to go what is known as in. This will probably give you a laugh if you're obviously a Django Unchained fan. Do I go in full regalia? Yeah, I'm debating whether to hat or not to hat, so we shall see. I think hat may be an option.
If you hat, you can sort of fan yourself off.
Yeah, so yes, I think the hat is going to have to be a strategic option in this case. Rather than the fashion accessory, it's just a handy place to put my fan is on my head, so that might be an idea. I think that's a good plan. But yeah, we're going down Chili Fest on Saturday on St John's Square. If you're in Blackpool and you're around the area, go and get your heads blown off, and you might even find some decent sources while you're down there. So some decent podcasters, up and coming podcasters.
But no, I went down last year. There was some decent sauces. There were some really hot sauces, some flavourful sauces. Then there's also like chutneys and jams, like chili jams and chutneys and stuff you can try as well.
All for free, might I add. And
what was the other one they had? There was some where it's like also not spicy. There's one guy was saying like it was it's like that the cooler side of sauce. Like he had one was like a pineapple and lime salsa stuff. And it was really nice.
Yeah, you should say not everything's going to be like designed to blow your face off. There's quite a few things out there that are actually just designed to actually improve the flavour of your dish. So there is something there for everyone. So even if you can't handle your heat, you can go down there and you can try a few bits and bobs, and you never know, you might enjoy it. But yeah, get down there. I'll give it a whirl. If you see us, say hello, and we might even be able to give you our first autographs.
I'm waiting for the day.
Yeah, absolutely. The day when we can go to a festival and just say we have our own table. That's when we've achieved our goal, I think.
It's more when we do a con.
Yeah.
Get booked for a con or something, and it's like, I've made it.
Yeah, this is it. We get one person come up and we're like, yeah, we still made it. We're still here. We've made it. Oh, it'll be the worst fucking podcast table ever. Speaking of worst things, we kind of had this sort of conversation before, and it's propped up on a few groups that we've talked on and been a part of. Can a podcast be too long? And I'm going to end the show on this question, which is kind of ironic. Can a podcast be too long?
It's a strange one. Like I always stand by my guns. Sort of. The whole point of a podcast is if you can download it or you can stream it. If you download it, you have the option of going back to it later. You can stop it there or whatever, and you can go back to it. Because I've seen some podcasts that are like 7 hours long.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how someone could rabbit on for 7 hours. It's like I barely managed like 20 minutes by myself.
This is it. I mean, I was looking at this before we started the show. Like say a couple of hours before recording, I was thinking, "Fuck, I'm gonna have to do this one solo." But thankfully, Coxy came to the rescue. So, but I was thinking to myself, I'm going to have to make this half an hour, make it a mini pod. 1 hour 45 minutes later, it's just the two of us, and we just rambled on. But like I say, rambling. Sometimes, like I say, with these live shows, I'm glad I record as live because it's very, very rare that I want to cut something out. Very, very rare, which obviously forces my hand to make it a longer podcast.
Well, there's that. If you record as live, it's like there is that thing of people get annoyed with like, oh, you said that you used too many and and ahs and all that sort of thing, which I know a lot of listeners hate. But then to sort of sit there and it's like, if you, my goal's always been I want to record and get something out as soon as possible.
This is it.
Like I've done about 2 hour turnaround before of having a episode finished recording, then been edited, mixed, and uploaded. So but then I've taken up to a week before to get something out because I had to keep going back through and editing it, and I was like, oh, there's nerve there I need to get rid of, and I need to cut this bit of silence out, and I need to make this bit slightly louder and stuff like that. But it's one of them sort of, as I've gone along, I've sort of my editing skills have progressed, and with Lost Art not being live, I'm sort of striving to improve the sound and stuff, because sometimes you get that bit of feedback, or you get a bit of sometimes you get like a buzzing from the microphone in the background and stuff like that, and
it can be off-putting if you're going for the sound quality. But this is where our kind of podcasts are same but different, because you go and strive for that audio quality and you want to make it sound as crisp as possible, which is a one approach of doing it. Mine is basically just put it fucking raw and out there and just have it out there as it is, because I want this, obviously, your podcast is slightly more structured than mine. And I only say slightly because you know what I mean. Mine's basically, it's as it is. It's as if it was a live show and you're downloading it for later listening. And that's what I want it to be like, and just be us basically talking shit and just be like overhearing us in the pub sort of thing. You're going to have us, you're going to have buts, you're going to have maybes, you're going to have thinking time, you're going to have this, you're going to be that, you're going to be the other. And that's what I want it to be like. I want this podcast to be like, it's just a group of mates having a chat and shooting the shit and taking the piss out of each other, but also having a good time and realising it's banter and no one getting upset. And that's how it is, and that's how it has been since the get-go, I tend to find.
The one peeve I've always had with pods that I've listened to is always that. Just that those few seconds of dead air sometimes. It makes me, I'm sat there listening sometimes, it's like they're talking, they'll stop talking for about sometimes 5-6 seconds, and I'm like, right, is it finished? Is it just suddenly stopped? Is it? It's like, so I had to check my phone, and it's like, oh no, it's still playing. They're talking again now. So that sometimes sort of kills it for me, but it's like that sort of thing of like people say, oh, it's too long, but for me sometimes podcasts are too short.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. I mean, I've seen podcasts that last 10 minutes. I've seen podcasts that last half an hour. I don't know what you say. I listened to Wrestling Soup, and their WrestleMania show was 4.5 hours long. It was longer than the fucking main show of WrestleMania.
Yeah.
But it didn't bother me because you pause it, and you're talking about streaming. Even if you're streaming on a show, an app like Spreaker, you can pause it, fuck off and do something else, and come back to it and stream from where you left off without even having to find it.
Oh yeah.
There's no such thing for me as a podcast that's too long, which is why I'm not worried about waffling and going on tangents and editing time to cut time out and things like that. My podcast, it lasts as long as it lasts. And if you need to stop and you need to stop listening and go and do something, just pause it and come back to it at another time. I can't stand these comments that I see all the time. Well, I can't listen to a podcast for longer than an hour. Then your attention span is fucking shit.
Yeah.
You pause it and come back. There is nothing wrong. I'm not getting me wrong. There's nothing wrong with a podcast lasting half an hour, 15 minutes. Coxy, you've done one that long.
I've done my first couple were like 15, 20 minutes, and then my first solos were like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But then like my interview ones, you have that time frame of like you have this amount of time. This is what you're doing, sort of, and get it done.
This is it. You kind of snookered into that sort of time frame. You've got to get done what you want to get done in that time frame because they're obviously meeting other people. So yeah, that's obviously naturally going to be that length.
But like I've had people say to me like they've said the same thing as me, like it's not too long, and they've said like I pause it and go back to it, whatever, or like I'll listen in segments when I've got time. Like I'll put the kids to bed, I'll put it on for an hour. I'll walk to work in the morning. I'll listen to another hour. I'll listen to this episode on the way home. And I get some people like, oh, you need to make your episodes about half an hour long. Right, why? Because there's too long as they are, and I don't listen. I can only listen to half an hour and I have to stop it.
Right, we'll just stop it and come back after half an hour then, surely. I mean...
But their answer to it was, well, why don't you do an episode, but do half an hour, then stop and have that as one episode, as like a part one of an episode, then do part two of like another half hour. I said no, because then you're essentially doing the same thing of, I'm essentially pausing it for you to then go and listen to part two.
This is it. This is the true nature of on demand, isn't it? I mean, okay, you can listen to whatever episode you want to listen to, but at the same time, you can also listen to as much of that episode that you want to as well. Pause it and on demand, unpause it and play it again.
Yeah.
It's the pure nature. That's the definition of on demand. It doesn't necessarily mean you can on demand listen to a set episode that you want to listen to. It gives you that flexibility, especially on an app like Spreaker or Stitcher, that you can pause it even when you're streaming at a set point, come back to it and not lose your position, and you can listen and carry on. That's how I listen to Wrestling Soup. Wrestling Soup is like 2.5 hours long at times, and I'll obviously, you know, with kids and I'm doing this, that and the other, I can't listen to a 2-hour episode of Wrestling Soup in one go. So what I do is I'll put the headphones in. If I'm doing the dishes, I will put that on and I'll be listening to that for a while. If I'm doing some cleaning up, I'll do the same. If I'm coming to work, I'll listen to another 15 minutes. When I'm going home from work, I'll listen to another 15 minutes. Even when I'm at work and if I'm doing my notes, I'll put Wrestling Soup on in the background and I'll listen to 20 minutes of Wrestling Soup. I hear bits and bats. I literally listen to it in bite-sized chunks. And I don't feel like I'm missing out on that. That's on demand for me. I listen to the episode that I want to listen to, and I'll listen to as much as I can possibly listen to at the point of what I'm doing. I accompany it with jobs and things that I'm doing. I don't just sit there and just think, right, I'm going to listen to that now. And then I think, oh, I've had half an hour now, that's enough. I do it with, like, if I'm doing something, I will listen to something. Now, obviously, if I'm thinking, oh, do you know what, I can't listen to that because I've got this job to do, it's 15 minutes. I can't listen to a 2-hour podcast. It's got to be a 15-minute podcast. That's fucking asinine. Why not listen to 15 minutes of a 2-hour podcast and come back to it?
Exactly, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's silly. Now, obviously, you know, that's in my opinion, like I say, there's no way that a podcast could be too long, and that's the reason why. Because you can pause it and come back to it, regardless of if you download it or stream it. But a podcast can certainly be too short, and because it can feel rushed.
It's the same with YouTube videos, though, but that's another topic.
That's absolutely another topic altogether. I mean, I only think the only reason I use YouTube for the podcast is really now as an archive. I mean, Alan's supposed to be doing videos for the show, but he's obviously not had time to do it, or he's not been able to, so... Hopefully there'll be some content on there soon, video-wise, but hey-ho.
It's like sort of looking back through, there's like the last 3 Casamurph podcasts. Shout out to Casamurph.
Exactly, at Casamurph. Catch them at casamurph.com, isn't it?
I want to say yes, but I can't
remember. Well, just look up Casamurph, search for Casamurph on Facebook, you'll get the links and everything from there.
But it's... Yeah, looking at their last 3 episodes, episode 3.5 was 2 hours 19 minutes.
Yep.
The episode after that was 2 hours 45 minutes, and the episode after that was 2 hours 29 minutes.
Yep. And absolute screams.
So, Lost Art is like last podcast I did was 18 minutes, which was bloody good for me. The episode before that was an hour and 32.
I was going to say, Coxy, I'm looking for the last 18 seconds.
Episode 20 was an hour and 32, so if you do want to do half an hour at a time, you got 3 chunks.
This is it.
Episode before that was 1 hour 3. The episode before that was 2 hours 26.
Well, this is it. It's all varied. I mean, my podcast length-wise is fucking... It's borderline bipolar. I mean, obviously, the last episode, which was Mandy Dingle or Fizz, was 107 minutes. Then the one before that was the WrestleMania special, which was 149 minutes. So, and then the one off that, before that, Leap Off the Page, was 150 minutes. So, you know, it all depends. Obviously, it also depends on us having technical difficulties, whether I've got to cut out whole parts of the show, which I've had to before.
Yeah, true. Look at the Lost Art of Wrestling as well. The first episode we did, the pilot, was 3 hours 8 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. The pilots tend to be a lot shorter, don't they?
Episode 2 was 3 hours 12.
Yeah.
Episode 3/4 was essentially comes about 4 hours total.
Well, the thing is about that, you know, that show is though it's once a month, isn't it, rather than once every week.
It's meant to be once a month, but it's somehow not once a month at the moment, which is somehow why it ends up being longer.
Which is good news for me because I still need to do a review for Heatwave 98 because I've watched it once. I've still not been able to do the actual notebook version in my hand, watch it, but I'm going to do that at some point this week. I think I'm actually going to do it and write some notes down. So Bunkle, get it watched, get some notes done. So I'm doing it this week.
Bunkle's got pages of notes. It's just me that needs to finish.
All right. Right, so you're waiting for me then?
3 matches left.
Ah, right, so you're waiting for me and Coxy. All right, fair enough.
Essentially, but he keeps moaning at me about it, like saying, you need to get it watched. And he's like, I did it in one sitting. I've got 8 pages of notes. He's like, I said, how many matches you got left? It's like 3, but one of them's a slog.
Yeah. I mean, I used to review matches when I did WrestleBox, and it's hard work. It really is hard work reviewing wrestling. It's one of the main reasons why I fucked off doing a wrestling podcast, because it's so much work. I mean, you've got, well, like I say, when you talk, we talked about how much wrestling you got to watch as a fan, and then you've got, obviously as a fan, you just watch it and either you enjoy it or you think, fucking hell, this shit's crap. But as a reviewer, if you're trying to review it and you're trying to dissect it and things like that, and you got to watch it all as well. You're talking like 18 hours worth of wrestling on a pay-per-view week. Yeah. It's like 18 hours of wrestling, and you got to dissect all 18 hours of that. It's too much. Way too much. It's like so that would have been WrestleMania weekend. You know what I mean? No wonder we were knackered. You know, we had to have a break at Easter because we would have been fucking burnt out. But, yeah, back fighting fit now. But it's hard work, it really is. In fact, reviewing anything is hard work, if I'm brutally honest. Because you've got to sit back, think about what you've done. Say, for example, a film. You've got to sit there and watch it, then watch it again making notes, and then watch it, refresh it before you do your review.
It depends how much you dissect the film, I find. Because it's like reviews I've watched where people have sat there and gone, yeah, it was really good. This person was really good in it. It was very well written. The plot wasn't so much there in this part, but in this part it sort of made up for it. And the credits happened, and bang. Whereas you got other ones who go, right, so at the beginning of the film this happened, then in the next scene this happened, and so on and so on and so on for 4 hours, and then go, yeah, and then the credits finally rolled, and we left the cinema.
Yeah. Yeah, it depends on your review style, and it depends how depth you want to go. We know certain YouTubers that just tend to rattle off what they've seen and that's it. They don't give really any opinions. But it all depends on how opinionated you are and what opinions you want to give.
Well, there's that, but there's some YouTubers I watch where they do a lot of like midnight screenings in America, and they break down the full film, like the key points, and it can go on for anywhere from like 45 minutes to about an hour and a half.
Yeah. I mean, for review, I watch Angry Joe on YouTube for his video game reviews, and they can drag on a bit. I mean, his Mass Effect he does angry reviews if he's pissed off. He did Mass Effect Andromeda, and his angry review was like 40 minutes long for a game review, when you can go to IGN and watch a review in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So, like I say, it all depends on how in-depth you want to go and how ranty you want to be. So, it all depends on that. Like I say, the more ranty you are, the more work is going to go into it, obviously.
Yeah.
So, we say with podcasting, though, it depends how much detail you want to go into. Like I said before, a half-hour podcast can feel rushed. But it depends how much detail you want to go into. I mean, if you want to say, for example, for some reasons, a fucking 8 out of 10 podcasts seem to be fucking true crime podcasts. And if, say, for example, this person murdered someone and this is the outcome and, this is what we thought of it, that could possibly fit into a half-hour podcast. We've gone, this is what they did, this is their mindset, this is possibly why they did it, this is why, how the victim got into that situation, this is how the police investigated. That's how it becomes like a 6-hour podcast.
Yeah.
So, like I say, it does depend on what you want to cover and what if you just want to story tell or if you want to give your own analysis, sort of thing.
I listen to both styles as well. I listen to any sort of they cover. They can cover like a serial killer in one episode, and then you got others that cover it, and they can do some. It takes like 3 or 4 episodes.
Yeah.
Because they go from like the full because they do loads of research. It's like, oh, they were born here and they had an abusive childhood and this happened and when they were this age this happened and they nearly died and this happened and they started killing cats and so on and so on. They did the first rape and so on, and here's part 2. But sometimes they can be really interesting, but then as I found with a lot of true crimes, it's you listen to one, it could be like on the Zodiac Killer, for example, and 2 weeks later you got another podcast that's doing the exact same. They're doing the Zodiac Killer as well.
Yeah,
you're hearing the exact same stuff.
See, I do the same sort of thing though, but it depends on viewpoints. Like I listen to 2 different wrestling podcasts who are sort of related. I listen to Wrestling Soup and I listen to Don Tony and Kevin Castle. And obviously, it's talking about the same sort of thing, but at the same time, they've got different viewpoints and different opinions and things like that. So that's what kind of makes me listen to both.
Well, it's sort of, for me, it comes back to the argument. I think me and James mentioned on Lost Art of Wrestling before, where we had a bit of a peeve about wrestlers appearing on certain podcasts. Like you had when I think Austin first started. There was I think there was on like Colt Cabana doing like a wrestling podcast.
Yeah.
And then then sort of Colt started, and then Steve Austin started, and then Jim Ross is going to do the podcast, and now Roddy Piper's doing the podcast, Jericho's doing the podcast, and they all started appearing on each other's podcasts. Like 1 week, like Austin was on Colt Cabana's, and then Colt Cabana was on Austin's, but they're talking about the same stuff. And then like Jim Ross appears on Steve Austin's podcast. They're talking about this, that, and the other. Oh, how did you get started? I did this, that, and the other. And the following week, Steve Austin was on Jim Ross's podcast, talking about the same stuff.
Yeah. It's oversaturated anyway, in a way, that sort of thing. Because if you so much as even touched a wrestling ring, it seems about now you've also now got to have a podcast. So
there's that, but then it's sort of that thing of like, oh yeah, I'm gonna talk about the business, and then they don't.
No,
it's just like, oh well, yeah, I've got a booking coming up soon, and you should come and see me. But in the meantime, head over to Blue Apron and get your food, and then like, oh yeah, I'm gonna talk with this person who used to work for the WWE. Oh, how did you get started? And we travelled together a bit, didn't we? And how was that for you? And how was this match? And what led to you being released? And then what are you doing now? Podcast over.
They're all the same, aren't they, nowadays? I mean, The only real difference is in the wrestling, like sort of wrestling sort of podcast, is the guests that they get on.
Yeah.
Occasionally, they might have somebody that nobody else has on. You know, or you could just have Ryback talking about himself constantly.
Well, I've got mates who listen to like the Bruce Pritchard podcast, I think it is.
Yeah.
Because they find it like really informative and they love it. Whereas like I listen to like the Austin ones. Cause I've got some of the. He had Paul Heyman on like 3 different episodes or something like that. Or I think over time he's been on like 5 different episodes. I got them all saved. I was like going back and listening to him. I'd just sit and listen to Paul Heyman talk all day. Brilliant.
It's funny enough, the only podcasts I've got ever saved for like future reference and just for listening because I found it fucking hilarious was Wrestling Soup's review with Sunny Side Up. Oh, it was fucking funny. Oh God, they only actually had James Ellsworth on the show once on Wrestling Soup before he got signed by WWE.
Oh, that's brilliant.
And they actually asked him. They've actually played. I don't know if you've actually seen anything about it, but Sonny apparently farted partway through one of the scenes. And it was caught on camera, sort of on the thing. Now, obviously, I don't know if it was a front fart or a front fart or a back fart, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
And they played the soundbite for James Ellsworth to ask him whether it was a front fart or a front fart or a back fart, I think. So yeah, but yeah, the whole episode where they was actually playing it scene for scene and actually reviewing it and telling you what was going on, it was fucking hilarious. And then a few weeks later, they actually interviewed the guy that fucked Sonny.
Jesus.
But he was actually really, really cool. Really, really cool. And he didn't actually say anything bad about Sonny at all. He praised her, if anything. So, it's one of them. And on that bombshell, I think we should start wrapping up.
Yeah.
It
is 5 to 12.
It is. We've for just two of us, we've managed to ramble on pretty well, I think. Bodes well for when we actually do a proper crossover, planned crossover.
It's sowing the seeds.
It is sowing the seeds. You know, my whole 18 seconds.
Poker doom you down.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, thanks for coming on, Coxy. It's been a pleasure as always.
You're very welcome, mate. Thank you for having me.
Not a problem, as always, mate. You're welcome anytime.
I'm the bastard TCM and I haven't got it.
Shit.
It started at 20 past 11, so it's fine.
I'll get it on +1.
I can't watch anyway, it's on TCM.
You'll be alright.
But there we go.
Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Is it bad I know the music?
Yeah.
Right, I'm going anyway because I'm tired. Thank you guys for listening. Remember to give us a review. 5 stars would be great. Give us a like or whatever the rating system is on whatever medium you listen to us on. Coxy, plug away yourself.
Lost Art of Podcasting 1 year anniversary show coming soon.
Yes.
In the meantime, find us on Facebook, Twitter at Lost Art Podcast, Instagram Lost Art Podcasting, and all good podcast outlets.
Yes, and our plugs will be halfway through the show, so go back, listen to it. You know, if you have to pause it and go back, listen, do it. You know, it's all on demand. Just what we've been talking about. But yeah, thank you guys for listening. I've been Paul the Hat Guy Flinders.
I'm Coxy.
And you've been listening to the RAD podcast. Thank you for listening and goodbye.